Welcome to today's presentation. Today we're going to be looking at understanding behaviour while working with young children. Some definitions before we go on. Behaviour, for the purposes of this presentation, is an action a person takes. Consequence, for today's presentation, is an outcome, something that happened because of an action or behaviour. It could be good or bad, an outcome or what followed the behaviour, or a reaction to the behaviour. That's a consequence. Intrinsic motivation is internal motivation, internal feelings and emotions. Extrinsic motivation is external motivation, so usually provided by someone else. And behaviour analysis is when we look closely at a person's behaviour, usually because we want that behaviour to change. Perhaps their behaviour is not socially acceptable, or perhaps we want to see more of that behaviour. What function does a behaviour carry? Every behaviour, every action that we do has a purpose. So that we can support a person to increase or decrease a certain behaviour, we have to understand the function that that behaviour has for the individual. Did the behaviour have a good outcome or consequence for the person? As a result of the behaviour, did they receive an item? Did they receive positive feedback? Did they receive love and attention? They might have felt good about themselves because of the behaviour. Did they receive a reward, an extrinsic motivator? Or did the behaviour have a negative outcome or consequence? Perhaps they received negative feedback from another person. Perhaps they received a negative consequence, such as a warning or something taken away. Perhaps they hurt another person and felt guilty about that. Possible reasons for any behaviour. These categories below are often used in education and special education, particularly when we're looking at behaviour. Attention. Perhaps the behaviour brings the person lots of attention. Avoidance. Perhaps the behaviour helps the person avoid something. Maybe it's too hard or they're fearful. Communication. Perhaps the behaviour is used as an alternative to effective communication. And sensory. Perhaps the behaviour makes the person feel more of a desired emotion. How to analyse behaviour, ABC charts. To understand behaviour, we need to observe closely and document what we see. We are looking for patterns. We are looking at before, during, and after. A stands for antecedent, that is what happened before, what was the context. B stands for the behaviour of concern. And C stands for consequence, what happened after, what was the outcome of the behaviour. You'll notice that I've been speaking of a person or people in this presentation so far. I've done that on purpose, so now let's turn our mind to young children specifically. Looking at children's behaviour. Let's think about ethics to start with. Most children in our centre are normally developing. Their behaviour is normal for their developmental stage. Educators must understand child development milestones across all areas, cognitive, communication, and social development particularly. Our work is to guide children to increase desired positive behaviours. I'd like you to think about children's development and the aligned behaviours for their stage of development. What could the behaviour mean and why do you think that? Can you match the orange boxes to the blue boxes? This is for a good discussion. In early education, our work really is to increase desired behaviours. So we're really looking at supporting children to do more of the positive behaviour. And we can use reinforcers to assist that process. Reinforcers can be social, so they're positive interactions like praise and high five or hugs. A positive reinforcer might be sensory, a stimuli that appeal to the person's senses like bubbles or music. Activity, access a preferred activity like playing on a swing, or natural reinforcer that occur naturally as a result of a person's behaviour, like receiving a toy after asking for it. A tangible resource is also possible, however, not as desirable to be used in early education. Our work in early education is to constantly provide children with support in the moment as they develop social skills and communication. Think about the environment. Is the environment stimulating for the children? Consider their well-being and their comfort. Are they calm? Is that environment inclusive for that child? Think about relationships with educators and with peers. Think about guiding social interactions as you see them happen. Taking the time to talk through with the child the alternatives. Perhaps they need to repair a situation. Perhaps they need to develop their requesting skills. Think about routines and communicating the routines with the children. How do they know the routine? What cues do you use? Think about expectations. Communicate these with the children. How do they know what you expect and what to expect? And children's agency, choices. We offer two choices that are both acceptable outcomes for the adult. This is a great way to empower children and to increase their confidence while gaining the outcome that the adult is happy with and the child is happy with. This empowers children. This is a very brief introduction to some understandings of behaviour generally. If you're seeing or struggling with a child's specific behaviour, we should work as a team. You need to consider how you're guiding children's behaviour. They're still developing all their skills in communication and social settings, as well as learning to manage their emotions. You always need to observe children really closely to see what's really going on, and you need to build strong relationships with each and every child. And as the children grow older, we access external support like the preschool field officer. Thanks.